and welcome to CelebratedRazorworks presents Straight Razor Touch-Up on a Natural Home. Today, obviously, I'm just going to take this Gata. It's a square nose, you can see. This is like my go-to just for quick touch-ups around, the perimeter usually, but I do use it all the time. And you can see like right here on the edge maybe there's a little bit of like a water stain, and I just want to take that out, of course, right away and maintain this nicely. So real quick, I'll just go over everything that I have here. So that's the Gata. And then here I have a nice natural home. It's a J-Nat. And I got this from Japanese natural zones, I believe. Honestly, it is one of my favorite. And I'm just going to use a coma. We'll get going from there. Then I'll do this on the Escher. This is a yellow-green, and this is Captain Tape, and you can just get this from Amazon or whatever, and it's just a little bit thinner than anything else, so I like it. Works good. Get the thick one though, because the thin one, if you get that, I've done that, and I got like a 2-pack, and I just don't use them. So I like to take a couple pieces of tape, not that I'll need them because I shouldn't be putting much pressure on there, but just get yourself a piece and kind of just try to center it on the top of that spine. Make sure there's no slack in it, because when you go to wrap it around either side, it'll be uneven. You'll get a bubble, and that will cause, when you're honing, I find if you get like a little bubble like that, that's the spot it's probably going to eat through first, honestly. And then just pinch the end there. Alright, we'll cut that off actually. Not all the way, just enough so it's not getting in my way there. Alright, let me get some water. I do have a spray bottle. It's good to make sure that your hones are lapped and even. And you just want to put a little bit of water on there. And see, I have like little spots I like to rub with this guy. Oh, before I do that, honestly, when I re-wet a stone, I like to rinse it under the water, just in case you have any kind of settling on there. So, all right. Some guys use a stone holder. If that's what you prefer, that's fine. A lot of time I end up just taking it in my hand anyhow. So for now, I'm just going to do it by hand and on the mat. And you don't need a whole lot, just enough that you can touch this baby up. Alright, now because it's all over the place right now, I'm just gonna kind of come down one end and get it together down here. Alright, and I'm gonna start with it just flat. Don't put pressure on this, but I do sometimes, with 2 hands. I just lightly hold it so that it's going evenly. And you start, just start by pushing it up. Not a lot of pressure. Push it back down. Push it up. Push it down. And you can see as I'm going, like I do move it off to the side, kind of like an X stroke. And you can always, do like a half stroke and come back up. But try to keep that razor at about the same angle that you're coming on both sides. Now there are guys that do the axe method, and that's perfectly okay too. I actually rather do enjoy that method. Whatever method you feel is going to work best for you. Also, I'd recommend, putting this at a height that's pretty comfortable, because right now I'm bending over to do this. But I could only get the camera angle right here. That's okay. So after you get some strokes going, you can get a good feel for to make sure your bevel is still touching everywhere, you should be able to feel some striction, just, the swarf kind of sucking down the razor as you're moving it. And you can hear that nice clean sound all the way down. If you hear any skips in that sound, well, then you have a spot that's probably, not touching right. You have to hear that. I do get guys that ask now, am I putting any kind of torque on the razor? And what I mean by that is, like, am I torquing it down into it? The only thing I'm going to say about that is, yay or nay, either way, just be consistent with what you're doing. You can't be torquing it down on this side right now and then let up, or switch to the other side and not torque it with the same pressure. You're just not going to get a nice even bevel. Consistency with this is really, like, the most important thing. Okay, once you can feel like a good thing going, I do like to do some circle strokes. Okay, and that does give me a good feel for, again, if the whole thing is touching. And then you can, switch back and forth with maybe sticking the heel forward and then the nose. But, this time I went with the heel, so I'll do it the same on the other side. And then I'll do again with the heel.
Shut up and sit down.
Come back. Okay. Now I'll do some straight ones with the heel forward. Now I'll do it with the nose forward. And it's straight ones. Nose forward. And then I'm just gonna switch back to straight on, just go up and down. This kind of connects the two together, I think, to make sure at that microscopic level that it's being evened out. And you can see this is getting thicker as I go. That's good. We want that. I personally think that the magic is happening when this gets, like, a little muddy, when it starts to break down. And I'm lightening up any kind of possibility of pressure as I go. Really just focusing on gently sliding it. Okay? Now, towards the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dilute this a little bit, okay, and just do my X strokes, and I'm going to dilute it until it's water. Now I'm actually going to rinse it under the water. Make sure there's pretty much just water on here. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this. Let's see if I'll turn it around. See if it's... Yeah, this side's nice too.
Shut up and sit down.
And you can see I'm changing positions, you know, going some on the heel. I'm actually feeling a little bit of a unevenness on this heel. Just a tiny bit in the way that it's dragging. And just, yeah, that feels better. Now I feel it here. That's better. Okay. So usually I can actually go to running water and go slowly on this. Let me take a look. Make sure that I got everything that I need. And that the bevel is, you know, nice and clean. So that's good for there. I'm going to stop with that. Okay. Now I do have, I do have another stone that I could rub on here, but I honestly, I'm not really worried that much. I find personally is to add, it like softens it up. I don't know how to describe it really, but you can see there's just a little bit of water on there. I'm going to hold it, you know, very loosely so that I know I'm not putting too much pressure on the razor. If you at any point no longer feel that suction, then, you know, it's uneven on there. You should be able to feel it. In fact, I like the fact that I have to hold this up because I can feel both the razor and the hone, how they're connecting. Okay, just a couple times. I keep coasting, keep coasting up again because I'm leaning over at a very strange angle. And you can hear the sound, just very lightly. Make sure your Escher does not dry out. I don't really like when they dry out. It's better with water. But the Escher, I do love to have it under running water.
Shut up and sit down.
And it's starting to give me some resistance. This is probably the worst way to do it because you can really knock this into something. Don't do it like this. Do it with a higher sink and save yourself the trouble. from here, what I like to do is take this, I'm going to dry it off, strop it up, and I'm going to test it for, but I know already, like, it's probably good. If I just dry it off here real quick and then show you a hair test or something. Okay. These couple hairs right there. They just fall off. So this razor was properly had a bevel set, which that is the biggest thing that's going to help you out, guys. You can see it does a very, very, very nice thin even bevel. Maybe the camera can catch it here. Yeah, there we go. So that's really helping me out with honing, is having that evenness. And it's hard to what happens is you start chasing that evenness. Once it gets uneven, you're chasing it, and it's just so much harder to get it back to something like that, but without removing a ton of steel. So take this, strop it, and it'll be great. That's all you really need. If you used it, like 10 times, 20 times or whatever, and you started feeling it tugging, snagging, whatever. Alright, guys, so don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, well, the barber side of things, if you want to follow, because this is on the barber exam, is for Bobby Fingers on Instagram. Alright, guys, see you next time.